aggressive and shouting. I don't think so. Somebody takes your child. Unbelievable, these criminals. Notice that there has not been anyone identified. Not one of the criminals that took my daughter have been identified in this document. So who's Miss A? F? Who's Constable D and C? Anybody would look at this document and know what they're looking at. The most criminal, corrupt document you could ever see. Now you understand why the no solicitor policy was put in place, people. Oh my God. You understand that this family in 2.5 years after this illegal removal does not know where their family member is. The fight for justice will go on. Expect us. if in shouting, I don't think so. Somebody takes your child. Unbelievable, these criminals. Notice there has not been anyone identified. Not one of the criminals that took my daughter have been identified in this document. So who's Miss A, F, who's Constable D and C? Anybody would look at this document and know what they're looking at. The most criminal, corrupt document you could ever see. Now you understand why the no solicitor policy was put in place, people. Oh my God. You understand that this family in 2.5 years after this illegal removal does not know where their family member is. The fight for justice will go on. Expect us. Now this document you're looking at was the one that was sent after, the day after the child was kidnapped by police, social workers on behest of the corrupt Glasgow City Council Labour Party. Now that it involves the SNP also, who are supporting it. This was a knee-jerk reaction because they didn't get their evidence when they tried to steal it. You will notice that it says she was took under a warrant. And Section 293 of the Mental Health Act. But what you must understand is our daughter was at mainstream high school, never been recognised as disabled. They took our daughter because, quite simply, we stood up for her rights and would not allow them to rehide our daughter with a benefit fraud to rehide her. And the benefit that was offered the child to rehide her is another document which will be put on the internet. Assess her needs. She was at mainstream high school with perfect school results. She was kidnapped when she was 19 years old. She's never been recognised as disabled, never had an assessment of her condition. She was being hidden for all those years until we found out. She was with her family quite happily all those years. Never any support of any kind, not recognised as disabled. There was no courts involved in the removal of our daughter. This was because we stood up for the child's rights and nothing more. She's not capable of speaking on the telephone, as far as we're concerned. We knew what they'd done. Jacqueline Jenkins is not a mental health officer. Jacqueline Jenkins, once again, is the same corrupt social worker that was at the home to get the documents. There was never an assessment of her daughter. Never. There was never going to be an assessment of her daughter. Now we'll put it on again. That Glasgow City Council, the same council that had the child, social work department that have never been involved with the family until they kidnapped her, were granted a warrant. Now you'll notice in the previous document that you've seen, suddenly when we go to the PRI, so-called PRIC, they decided to change it to a removal order. Now why would they do that? Because they don't have a removal order either. But you can imagine the criminal police saying to their criminal friends, the social worker, why did you send that document out? She's not a criminal, she's not been arrested under a warrant. And that's exactly why they changed it. Understand the document is the most corrupt and illegal document you've ever seen. And you wonder why we can't get access to a lawyer? Of course. We must stand up to this abuse of our children. At present, there will be more documents put online for you to look at. But in the meantime, understand what you're looking at here. The carer, the mother was caring for her daughter for all those years while she was at school being hidden, until we found out. And then the whole corrupt system went totally corrupt again, and now the SNP is standing by the Labour criminals, supporting this abduction. So be it. So be it. This document you're looking at here is a document from a corrupt solicitor who works for New Law. One of her friends gave her a phone number, but we knew she couldn't get a lawyer because we'd already proven that. But nevertheless, the mother decided to phone her. And then of course the lawyer, Carol Davis for New Law, decided we'll take the case on. But she wasn't working for the mother. The mother was trying to get guardianship for her daughter. But once again, you've got to understand, this criminal lawyer went to the same council that hid the child all those years ago. Also, the so-called MHO was nothing but a social worker, Jacqueline Jenkins, who we filmed on the video, previous video. It was all fraud and abuse by a criminal Labour council, and all this has been supported now by the SNP. There was never any assessment of our daughter Michelle's condition. And you'll notice, of course, it's all about just the word mental health. No mention of vaccines, of course, without consent. This is all done to protect a criminal doctor who put vaccines into her daughter under the guise of two-way and check sessions and used her for drug testing. And you'll understand. Now, she's in touch with Dr. Quigley, the same doctor that poisoned her daughter and asked the Labour criminal gang to hide her, now supported by the SNP. Anybody knows if you've got a lawyer and she's acting or he's acting responsibly and lawfully, they run outside Glasgow. They certainly wouldn't have went to the same local council that hid the child and abused her, and is abusing her now. Very important little documents. Jacqueline Jenkins is nothing but a social worker. So once again, what you're looking at is a New Law corrupt lawyer abusing the child and her mother, who tried to apply for guardianship for her daughter, but she was never going to get it because this criminal corrupt lawyer was working for the council, and she's owned by the council. She does all their work. The AMHO allocated by the local authority, which is the corrupt Glasgow City Council. Jacqueline Jenkins is nothing but a social worker, she's not an MHO. It was all gross multiple abuse, and we've already had it. But we already knew. We were told what it was, but we already knew. MHO report. She was never assessed, and she never will be assessed till we get her freedom. Her GP, she's communicating with the same GP that poisoned the child. You understand what you're looking at, folks. This is just gross multiple abuse. There'll be more documents to come. So important that you understand these documents. New law